Welcome to the Richard Lloyd USA YouTube channel. I'm Richard Lloyd. Last video I made was on the Hiren's boot USB CD PE version. This is a version of the Hiren's boot disk, which is a utility disk that runs in the Windows PE environment, 64-bit, on or off a USB thumb drive. So you can boot your machine up with a USB thumb drive, have Windows PE running, a 64-bit Windows 10 environment with Hiren's tools on it. So really handy, worked great. But this video is a response to a question that somebody made on that thumb drive, and they asked, actually the person is Jim Stand, the user is Jim Stand, and he posted a comment in the comment section below. And we'll put a card up here for you guys to link on to see the video that shows you how to create this USB thumb drive, because you need it for this video. But regardless, Jim Stan asked, could you make a follow-up video with the instructions on how to install the Hiren's boot CD onto a hard drive or SSD so that the PC boots right off that? I have an extra PC that I could use this on. So what Jim Stand, or Jim I'm assuming, wants is to be able to boot his computer using the Hiren's boot USB ISO and just run off a hard drive without having to use a thumb drive. Well, I'll show you how to do this on this video, but you will need this thumb drive to do it. You will need the Hiren's USB PE boot USB thumb drive. So again, that card I put up there will show you how to create this. Once you have this, then you can create put it onto a hard drive that you can boot alone, a solo inside your PC, all by itself, no thumb drive. So that's what Jim wants. Now, I've tried this on several different types of drives, 3.5-inch PC hard drive, internal hard drive. Also, a 2.5-inch laptop hard drive, both internally mounted on the PC, worked great. Also, I've tried it with external interfaces, the laptop hard drive on an external laptop hard drive, I don't know, container or enclosure, worked great internally and externally. So you could boot off this, no problem, or you can take it out of the enclosure and then just put it inside the PC and boot off of that as well. So that worked. The only thing that didn't work was externally on the 3 terabyte drive. I have a 500 gigabyte 3.5-inch drive, which externally on a powered USB interface worked perfectly. So you could boot the machine with the drive in the USB interface, as long as it's a powered interface, of course. These drives need that. And you could take it off the interface, plug it into the inside of the PC, and it would work, no problem. So less than 2 gig 3.5-inch drives, no problem. Less than 2 gig laptop drives, no problem. Either way, with external or internal USB interfaces, no problem. The only place I ran into a problem was when I used the 3 terabyte drive, and it wouldn't do it externally no matter what I did. But if I mount this internally on the PC and basically follow the procedure I followed on the other drives that I'm going to show you, it will work just fine. It just needs to be formatted in a specific way. So I'll show you how to do the 500 gig 3.5-inch drive first, just so that you can see that how that works. And it'll be mounted internally, but you could do it with it mounted to the USB as well, and it would work just as well. And that covers the same procedure for the laptop drives, as they are configured in the exact same way. So let's boot up the machine. Let's create that 500 gig hard drive, 3.5-inch hard drive, internally connected to my PC with nothing else connected, just that and this thumb drive to boot with. Okay, so let's get at it. I'll show you how to do that, and then after that I'll show you how to handle the bigger than 2 terabyte drives if you want to do that, with a drive that big. Right, here I am paused at my boot screen. That's basically showing you, I want to show you how I actually picked the boot drive that I'm going to use. I've got the USB thumb drive plugged into the USB port, and the 500 gig Western Digital 3.5-inch platter internal drive plugged into the PC without any issue at all. And yes, if you were to do this on a laptop drive, you could put it in a laptop, no problem at all, and it would work. So up to you how you mount it. So let's go ahead here. I'm just going to hit F12 to continue the boot. And there we go. Now you can see that I have a WD500 there. That's the 500 gig drive, and a USB 3 PNY thumb drive. Now you can use, as I showed in the other video, 4 gig drive, no problem at all. The other thing I forgot to mention in the first segment is that after you make that USB thumb drive, you're going to have to put the ISO file on the thumb drive as well. So you make the thumb drive, you check to see if it boots and it works, great. After that, take the ISO file that you used to create that drive and drop it on, let's say, the root directory of that drive so it's easy to find. That ISO needs to be there because we're going to take that ISO and extract it to the new drive and have it work, no problem. So I'll show you all that. Here we go with the boot process. And again, the Windows logo shows up. I'll probably fast forward past this because the boot process with the USB thumb drive is a little slow. So I'll catch it on the desktop and then we'll continue there. Okay, we're in the desktop. We're ready to go. Booted up with the USB thumb drive. Let me just have a look at what's going on here. And you can see I have the new volume, the 500 gig drive here on the C. As well, the thumb drive over here with the files that were on it, plus the ISO file that created this thumb drive or used to create this thumb drive, which you can download for free from the Hiren's boot CD web page, which I showed in that video I tagged up there. And so we're ready to go there. That's all good. First thing we're going to do is go to all programs, and we're going to go to hard disk tools and then security. Then we're going to go to HDD low level format tool. Now what we're doing here is prepping the drive for this operating system. I'm going to blank it out pretty well completely and then start from fresh or scratch so that there's no other residual stuff on that drive that will affect this process. We want to start fresh. So this program does that pretty well. I'm going to go here to the SATA drive. Notice how it says which one it's connected to. So make sure you're formatting the right drive. And again, I would caution you to disconnect all out of the drives that you're not working with, so there's no chance of you damaging your data. Again, I'm assuming here that you're making a solitary machine to boot up with this OS. So here we're going to go continue after picking that drive. Go to low level format. We're not going to low level format it because that could take hours. I'm just going to go here to perform a quick wipe. Just remove partitions and MBR, master boot record. That's what we want. Format this device. Make sure you're formatting the right device. Off we go. Okay, so there, that's done. Next, we're going to go back to the Windows icon, all programs again. This time to accessories and disk management. Now, caveat here is you could actually do this all on a computer running Windows 10 by itself and plugging this drive into it and following more or less the same procedure, wipe it out and format it like I'm going to show you right now, and that would work. But I'm doing it with the USB thumb drive because I'm assuming that there's nothing on the machine that you're booting with, so it's going to start and be clean. So we've gone into disk management. Disk management knows that drive isn't initialized, so it wants you to initialize it. You've got two options, MBR on disk 0 and GPT. Well, we're going to keep it on the default MBR, master boot record, because if you go to GPT, it doesn't work. So I'm going to go here. Now you can experiment all you want, but this is how it works for me. So here we're going to go OK, and it's going to initialize that drive. And as you can see here, it's black and it's unallocated. So what we need to do next is format it. So new simple format, right click it. Just right click it and you get the choice to do a new simple format or a new simple volume. And this is the wizard, and here we're just going to use all the defaults. Next, next. So I'm doing the whole drive. And you can assign a letter, that's what we want. C, sure. Next. And here it's going to be, you have choices on stuff to do. I'm just choosing all the defaults, NTFS. You can go exFAT and it does work. I've tested it, but I'm just leaving it with the defaults. You can, like I said, experiment on your own time. So next, and it's going to tell you what it's going to do, which is create that volume. Formatted it. Okay, so there, it's formatted, healthy primary partition. Next thing you need to do with this thing to make it work is right-click it one more time, and then choose Mark Partition as Active. Okay, and what that does is it sets the drive to be able to be, well, it sets the drive as bootable. And since we want to boot off that drive, you need it to be like this. So it should say Healthy, Active, Primary Partition, just like mine says here. Now it could be any size drive, but mine's a 500. I would say any size drive up to about 2 terabytes. After that, they get a little wonky, but I'll show you that one after I show you this one working perfectly fine. And this applies to everything under 2 terabytes, laptop or internal 3.5-inch drives, or laptop and external 3.5-inch drives. Laptop drives are 2.5s, and they're, no matter what, either way they're connected, they'll work. So that's the beauty of this system. You have choices. With anything bigger than 2 terabytes, you have less choices, but I'll show you that in a minute. So we got this done. It's ready to go. Go back to your file manager over here. Then we're going to go back to the USB thumb drive, and this is where the ISO comes in. You need to have it on the USB thumb drive. Up to you where you put it. I put it on the root directory, and so basically it's right here, hbcd_pe_x64. Double click that file, then pick all the files in the directory that it takes you to. You can do a Control A, you can draw a box around them, whatever you want. Right click on it and hit copy, or you can hit Control C here too, and then scroll down to, well, we're going to go to the volume C here. So, I mean, you could go back to C, but anyways, to the PC. Let's double click on C. You notice that this drive is empty because we just formatted. And here, just right click and hit paste or Control V. So here we go, paste. And what it's doing here is writing all the files in that ISO to the main drive. After this is done in about 30 seconds, as it says, the drive will be bootable, and you'll be able to go into your Windows, your Hiren's CD, USB, PE environment straight off your hard drive, no USB thumb drive. And the nice thing about that is that, number one, it's super fast, and it's inside your machine, so you don't have to use USB for it at all. So we'll wait for this to finish here, and after it's done, I'll reboot it and I'll show you it working. And then after that, I'll show you how to do the larger than 2 terabyte drive, the 3 terabyte drive, and go on from there. So here, we're ready. Let's close it off. Down to here, and I'm going to hit restart. All right, I'll pick it up on the reboot and show you what's going on, and then go into it. All right, so once again, we're at the boot screen, paused. If you want to know how to do that, there's a pause key on your keyboard. If you hit pause, you can see it. You actually don't have to stop here. I'm just doing it to show you because, I want to show you that it's running just on the hard drive, number one. Number two, most PCs will run boot off the only drive they have automatically. But, if you have a problem, you can stop here and choose your boot options. But I'm just going to show you that here. So I hit F12 for the boot options, and you can see here on the screen it says HDD WD 5000 AAKX. Well, that's the 500 gig drive, and there's no other drives in this machine right now because I unplugged the thumb drive that used to make this drive bootable, and it should boot by itself. So here by default, I'm just going to hit enter. And the nice thing, as I said, about the internally mounted hard drive is that it is, for me anyways, much faster than the USB thumb drive was. So that's another big plus about having it that way. So as you can see here, the circle of weight shows up and pretty quickly, a lot faster than it does on the USB thumb drive. And after it's done, I'm just going to show you that it's working. There we go. Desktop, boom, right? So PE is working. Hiren's boot CD PE Windows 10 there, as you can see. We go to the file manager. You can see that we have a volume C 500 gig drive. Double click it. You see the files that we put on there. Let's go back. And everything else that makes the machine run. Boot X is a virtual drive that, you know, basically I think runs the operating system. So if you look at it, you can see that it's like a Windows directory. But regardless, this is it working. Go back here to all programs and accessories and disk management, and you'll see more or less a graphical representation of what you saw on the file manager. So close that off, and then there we go, right? You can see all by itself running, right? One drive, simple NTFS, healthy 500 gig drive. So that's how you do that. Again, remember this procedure is the same whether you have it externally mounted or internally mounted, up to 2 terabyte drives, no problem at all. You know, anything below 2 terabytes, you'll be able to do this without a problem, I believe. Unfortunately for me, I only have these size drives. I go from 500 straight to 3 terabytes. So, you know, if I had a terabyte drive, I could test it, but I don't think it matters. You know, below this, it works. And when I take the 3 terabyte drive and do it with that, it actually works up to 2 terabytes, and then beyond that, it doesn't. So let's plug in the 3 terabyte drive, initialize it, and make it work as well. I'll show you how to do that on the next segment. Okay, we're back to the boot screen again. I'm just going to show you what's going on here. We're doing the 3 terabyte drive this time. And there we go. Got the boot options. I'll show you what's going on here. We've got the Toshiba 3 terabyte drive at the top. Of course, the thumb drive has to go back into the machine because we need it to boot it up, and we need it for the ISO file. So we're going to choose the thumb drive again. There we go. Different boot screens, different processes. It's up to you, again, I explained that on the first video. Different computers use different keys for that boot screen, like escape or F5 or, you name it. There's all sorts of different combinations, but if you can stop it, if you can see it long enough, it usually does explain which key does what at the boot screen. So the pause key on your keyboard is your friend. Wait for this to boot up, and then we'll continue on. So here we are at the desktop again, ready to go. Let's go to your Windows key at the bottom left. And then we're going to go again to all programs, and then accessories and disk management. And in here, we'll show you what is currently running. And then we'll deal with that after that. Now you can see that I've already been in here with this. So I'm just going to delete this volume here. There we go. And again, we've got the 32 gig USB thumb drive that we booted it off, and then the 3 terabyte drive. So same as last time, we're going to do the same procedure. And again, you didn't have to delete the volume. This will do it anyway. We're going to go to Hard Disk Tools, Security, and HDD Low Level Format Tool. And you've got your options. And of course, we're going to go with the SATA 3 terabyte drive. Make sure you're formatting the right drive again. Go to Continue. Go to Low Level Format tab, and then perform a quick wipe. Just remove the partitions and MBR. So we'll do that. There we go. So close that off. We'll close. Well, actually, we don't have to close this off. It looks like it updated all right. We're here. You can see that this has got a red arrow on it pointing down, basically saying we need to do something. We're going to click on that. And we're going to right click it and choose Initialize Disk. So we're going to do that. And you get this. You must initialize the disk before blah, blah, blah. And notice that it goes automatically to GPT. That's because it's a 3 terabyte drive. So here we're going to switch it to MBR, right? Master Boot Record. And then we're going to go OK. And you can see that it automatically formatted it as a 2 terabyte drive, 2.48 gigabytes. And then the rest is left over for whatever you want, right? But we're just going to deal with this. You can format this any way you want. NTFS, exFAT, whatever. That's up to you. I'm just showing you how to make it work on the first partition. You could probably use the second drive as storage. So right click this, New Simple Volume, and then Next, all the defaults. Again, C is fine. NTFS, of course, you can choose exFAT, no problem. Next, and finish. Last thing you need to do after it's done formatting is make it active. So here it's a primary partition, right click it, make the partition, mark the partition as active, and off we go, right? You see healthy, active primary partition, that drive's ready to go. Now here you can create a new simple volume if you wish. Actually, it doesn't look like I can do anything with it. Yeah, it won't let me do it. So I guess that portion of the drive is going to be unused, but regardless, you know, you can play with that if you wish, but this is what it takes to get that 3 terabyte drive booting up with this software. It needs to be an MBR setting, and it has to be 2 terabytes or below. So, and it can't be external. It needs to be internally mounted. This one is internally mounted inside my PC. So that's it for that portion. That's the trick on the 3 terabyte. Then the rest is the same. You go to a USB thumb drive, double click on the ISO file, highlight all of them, and then copy them, and then go back to your C drive, and then paste them in here. Right click, paste. Control V would work as well. People who like to use shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts. And then we're installing the software on there right at this point. Now, again, I want to say thank you to Jim Stan for this, because he asked the question, and yeah, it was interesting. It was kind of a mystery when I went to the web page. There was no instructions on how to do this at all. So as far as I know, I'm the first guy to do this on YouTube. So thanks, Jim. I appreciate that. And neat to be able to do this, because it makes it run much, much faster with the hard drive than it does with the USB thumb drive. I don't know why, but probably because it's just internally mounted. It's faster. So we've got the drive created at this point. Just close things off. I'll reboot it, and then I'll pick it up on the other side, on the boot side, and we'll continue on from there. Okay, here we are at the boot screen again. I'm just going to hit F12 here, get into the boot options. Here you can see that it's just one Toshiba drive, the 3 terabyte drive, and nothing else. I've taken the USB thumb drive off. So here we're just hitting enter. And the beauty of this is that it's so fast, I don't even have to pause the actual boot screen, because it will do the boot pretty quickly. So here you see the circles of eternity, as I like to call them, and they actually go pretty quickly. Again, because this is internally mounted inside the PC, it seems to go really quite fast, even though it's not SSD, but it could be. All right, here we go to the desktop. If it was SSD, it'd be much faster, actually. I would you know, assume. Here we are, and you can see the usual stuff that comes up when you first boot. We'll go over here to all programs, accessories, and disk management. And just basically to show you it's there and that it's working. And there it is, right? Basic, simple, NTFS, healthy, active partition, primary partition, which you have down here. Perfect. It's quick and snappy. File manager, everything's there. The boot X, again, is just, you know, a virtual drive. It works. And nothing else other than that. So that's how you get a 2 terabyte or larger drive to work. I don't believe we can, let's just see if we can allocate any more space there. I don't think so. Disk management happens quickly. New simple, can't do anything with it. So it won't let you do anything with the unused space. So 2 terabytes is the limit, but again, you know, there's just so much space on this thing. Even this sees it as 100% free, even though it's not 100% free. It's pretty well. So let's look at the properties of it. 1.6 gigabytes, 1.49 gigabytes of the entire 1.99 terabytes is used. So you got a lot of free space with this thing. So that's it for my video. That's it on how to get the USB Hiren's boot CD PE Windows 10 from USB to a hard drive booting internally without the USB. Again, I'll put links to these cards to these at the top, and yeah, you can watch the video where you can learn to make the USB thumb drive that you need to make to get this video to work. So if you like this video and helped you out in some way, do me a huge favor. Give me a thumbs up on it. It helps me on the YouTube algorithm. It helps my channel to grow. and I greatly appreciate it. Also in the bottom right, all through this video, you would have seen a subscription link, probably still there. Click on that button and you'll be subscribed to my channel. And then as part of that process, you'll see a bell icon. And when you click on the bell icon, that's the notification bell. You'll be notified every time that there's a new video, and then you can watch it at your own leisure. As well, at the end of this video, there'll be a picture of me. That's also a subscription link. Click on that. Same process with the bell icon, and go from there. And I encourage you to use the comment section below. Obviously, this video was brought to you by a comment from Jim Stand. Thank you, Jim, again, in the comment section below the last video. So if you have any comments, suggestions, questions, whatever, put it in the comments section. I'd really appreciate that. And, you know, who knows? If you got a good one, I may make a video out of it. I've done it several times. I really enjoy doing that for you guys. And it's helpful for other people as well. In the video description, you'll see a bunch of links for stuff. Those are affiliate links. What that means is that no cost to you when you use those links to go buy anything that I showed in this video or that is in the video description. That helps me out a little bit. And like I said, no cost to you. It would be the same price whether you went to eBay or Amazon directly. So do me a favor and use those links and help me out, as that helps to fund what I'm doing here on YouTube and keep my channel going. Once again, and like always, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy.